How's it going, freaks? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. Little bit of a special amp is this Ventoux amp, or the Ventoux, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not really a French guy, except for the kissing. That was disturbing. You know, less than 30 seconds in, I'm already going all like full sexual on you. But if you've been to this channel before, you know that nothing is fucking normal here at all, ever. So today's patch is kind of an all-round flexible friend. It's basically just 4 snapshots that you can use for your kind of function band or whatever. You could just take one of the snapshots and do with it what you please. So bit of a disclaimer first at the beginning. Obviously, first of all, if you're new, slap the subscribe and hit the notification bell and come back for more, because there's loads of free shit that you can have. Every single time that you come here, you will leave with something new for your Helix. A bit of knowledge as well. It's all for free. You don't pay a penny if you don't want it. You don't have to pay a penny. Nothing. So this is set up for this Les Paul. I know it's a shocker that I'm actually using a Les Paul. I'm normally using a Strat, but there's no drop D system on the Strat that I use mainly. And for one of these, I need for it to be in drop D, which we will get to in a minute. So that's why I'm using the Les Paul. And I was using it yesterday in a rehearsal. And this amp really just came alive when it was loud through the Power Cab 212. So yes, so obviously you can take this and do your thing. So let's just start at the beginning. So it's basically just 4 snapshots covering a few different sonic grounds. If you like, hang on, let me do that again. Sonic grounds. Gotta have a bit of reverb. Covers a few different sonic grounds, and again, you're going to have to adjust it for you. Okay, so when you're listening to it dry as it is, sort of direct from the desk straight to the camera, when you put it in a mix, it'll all become apparent of just how fucking awesome it is. We start at the beginning, there's a deluxe comp. Again, that's set for me. That's just how I like it. If you want to shake it out and chop it for something else, then you go ahead. I'm not your real dad. There's a tube screamer there as well, comes on now and then for the first snapshot, which is labeled Jazz. We've dropped the drive, messed around with the HP filter, which is a really, really good feature. When you get this amp out, have a little play with that and read the release notes as to what that does. I won't bore you to death with it now because it'll just drag on. Presence, I pulled that right down out the way and I've turned the hum off. I've got an EQ there which actually stays pretty stable. Nothing much kind of happens for that because I'll come back to that in a minute. But basically what happens between jazz and metal, which is the 4th snapshot, in a live situation I would probably be able to just go to foot edit mode on the Helix and then kind of dick about with this a little bit and pick some stuff up if I need to, but last night I didn't need to do that. Trinity Chorus, I opted not to use the Ampeg in this one. There's 2 different delays. First one's a Heliosphere, which is on for most of these patches. I know jazz guys don't really use delay, but I don't care, I like it. It's as simple as that. ADT, which I'll show you in a sec, and a tile, and right at the end, and it's just assigned to 1 foot switch, is a boost switch of +2 of 2 dB. I've got me fucking brain working, coordinated with me fucking teeth. It's going to be one of them days today. So, let's take a look at the jazz setting, shall we? So obviously I've got the tone rolled back a little bit on the Les Paul. Beautiful. Not a lot of delay on there, really. Just a little... Oh, what was that? Did something fall over at the back of the room? And then the next one on the snapshots there is called Country. Yeah, I'll wait for the complaints for this one. So what happens with this one is the delays swap. We go from the Heliosphere to the ADT, and the ADT gives us that slap back that all the country players like. I'm not a country player, just something that I'm involved in. It just gives you that blap blap, okay? And I've set the amp to kind of get a little bit of a Telecaster-ish tone out of the Les Paul. And that's it. It sounds pretty good, pretty convincing, I think. Definitely doesn't sound like a Les Paul, to my ears anyway. A few things that change on there. Again, the mid comes up, the presence comes up a little bit. I've altered the depth. I've messed around with the sag and the master in there as well. The EQ, like I said at the beginning, stays pretty stable throughout the whole thing. It's there just in case I need it, and I'll just jump straight into foot edit mode. So let's take a look at snapshot number 3. We're whipping through these nice and fast, just how I like it. This is basically called blues. There is tiny amount of chorus on there just to give it a little bit of life. And it's set on note sync. But obviously you can change it, you can do whatever you want. But kind of really harsh sounding, but I just like it through this Les Paul. It's not an overly driven blues sound, even though, you know, the drive's on like 5.8, but it's not like that harsh that you can't get any clarity out of it. And even on the neck pickup on the Les Paul, it cuts through ever so nice. Final one, the final snapshot, and this is a little bit of a shocker. Let me just do this first. We know where we're going with this, don't we? So take a look at the amp for this. What I should say as well is that in the blues setting, the tube screamer does come on. It does activate. It's at 9.7, 6.5 for that. But when we go over to the next setting, there's a few different settings on the tube screamer because we're really like pushing the amp to the point of explosion. Now, as an idea for you, I didn't really want to overcomplicate the patch realistically, but if I'm only using this for kind of one song, which I can't play on here because I'll just get copyright slam, but it's killing in the name of. I could realistically then have kind of put this through a 4x12 cab and then try to get a fucking tone match and for it to have been absolutely perfect, but I didn't really see any point. You've got plenty of room within this preset now to kind of put another cab in there and, you know, switch one cab off and separate it all and do all that. You can kind of do that if you want. But this is the metal sound. And it BA's really nice as well. I mean, again, I'm only doing one song with it, but, you know, that kind of fast. And then we go straight back to jazz. Table 4, your pizza's ready. Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it. Obviously, it's a very flexible patch. It's a very, very flexible amp. I'm shocked just how good it is. I was shocked even more so that the metal sound that I dialed in. I thought, oh, I'm going to have to kind of separate stuff off and put a 4x12 cab in and change the mic and do all this like fucking crazy shit. But once I did it in a rehearsal with the power cab, it was just, oh my God, I'm touching myself. So that's it. That is today's patch. You can take that and run with it. What I want you to do as well is go away and like change some stuff. Come back and tell me what you did and how it worked for you, because you are going to have to adjust it. That's what the EQ is there for, and there are no rules in the world of Line 6 Helix. So until next time, everybody, take it easy, and I'll see you in a couple of days for some more.